Whenever. Okay, welcome to both Yana Wilson and Rose Zhang here at the Mizuho Americas Open. Sorry, I've done a lot of talking today. Welcome both to the Mizuho Americas Open. I'm going to start with you, Yana. Very exciting announcement. We just heard from Cheryl. You are the newest Mizuho Americas ambassador. Tell me a little bit about how that came about and how excited you are to wear that Mizuho logo on your sleeve.
Yeah, I'm really excited. You know, the relationship kind of blossomed between me and Mizuho, from playing this first event back in 2023. And, this event is amazing because, you really get to network and build connections with these incredible sponsors. So that's kind of what we did, and I'm really pumped to have them on my sleeve.
Mm-hmm. You're making your first professional start at the Mizuho Americas Open, but your third star overall because you played here for 2 years on the AJGA side. How different do you imagine that's going to be, or what are you looking forward to playing as a pro instead of a junior this week?
I feel like it's going to be a little bit different. The tees are moved a little bit back, so, some holes will play a little bit different than the others, especially the par fives. But, it's still Liberty National, still one of my favorite courses ever. So I'm just really excited to be back and, just trying to hit as many fairways and greens as possible this week.
Mm-hmm. Rose, you're back going to be playing here again at Mizuho. How much does this event mean to you as the inaugural winner? And I know you didn't get to defend your title last year, but you're back again.
It's honestly a little bit surreal, just coming back to the same venue that not only did I get my first tour win, but it was my first start. A lot of build-up happened that entire week, and then to top it off with a win, and then on top of that, just got my LPGA Tour card, was able to play the rest of the season. Everything kind of stemmed from this event. So it's honestly an honor for me to come back, and being a Mizuho ambassador as well. Mm-hmm. It's just a really cool kind of sight to see once again, and you've got great views. Course is great. Just excited to get back into it.
As you know, Mizuho Americas announced a 5-year title renewal with the LPGA Tour. What does that mean to you as its inaugural champion to see the Mizuho Americas Open continue on for another 5 years?
Yeah, Mizuho Americas has really just brought the women's game and elevated it so much more. It had an elevated purse money that inaugural year, and then on top of that, for them to continue having the relationship with the LPGA and support the women's players out here, I think it's honestly their vision has really shown through, and it has really impacted the game as well as us as players.
Awesome. I'll open it up to questions here. Sarah, do you want to start?
Yana, you had a great moment on Sunday at the Reliance Matrix Championship in the Epson Tour. Can you just talk about your first win and what it meant to have your hometown crowd there and everybody, it sounds like, came out to watch you win?
Yeah. It was really special to win in my hometown and in front of everybody. I had a lot of people that came out there that I did not expect to come out there. Like I told you earlier, my 7th grade history teacher came out to watch me with their husband, so that was really special. I haven't seen her since 7th grade. So, I think just having that good energy there really helped me play well that whole entire week, and I was just really happy to do it during that tournament.
I know, obviously, new to the professional ranks, have been playing out here, feels like forever, but on the Epson Tour specifically, can you just speak to the talent level that's out there that you've seen thus far early on in your rookie year?
Absolutely. I mean, just coming into Q school, saying how many girls' names are on the list that, that used to be in college and now have turned professional, I think, there's so much talent out there, and all those girls are so hungry to get their LPGA Tour card and to win, so that just, makes the competition even better. Everybody's playing their best golf, and for me to play really good on that tour, it says a lot about my game.
And then Rose, I know we haven't seen you for a few weeks, but to be back out here at the Mizuho Americas Open, how excited are you just to be back out competing?
It's honestly, I feel really good. I feel really good about where my mindset is at. I feel like this past break has been a blessing in disguise in a sense. There's been just so much happening in my life on and off the golf course that it's good to rewind. Obviously, I spent my days not really playing golf. So I think that this week to get back into the groove of things, to be able to practice, to actually be able to see the golf ball fly, it's a little bit relieving. And I think I'm excited to just keep on going and keep on building my game. I think this is just a little bit of a start to everything that's going to happen months after.
And then I know, obviously, you're still pretty young, but you're a role model to a lot of the AJGA girls out here and to a lot of people in golf in general. How excited are you just to, again, have this opportunity to work with the AJGA players at this event and really inspire the next generation?
It's honestly so cool because I actually know a good amount of the junior players that are out here. I said that in the first inaugural event that I played here, but I had a lot of friends back in junior golf that I played with, and freshly turning pro, it was really relieving. I played with Yana growing up, and then I've also played with Anna, and I got paired up with Anna in the end. So it was honestly, it's honestly a really cool type of experience to be able to be a tour player, but also be able to play with these junior girls. And I'd argue that these junior girls are just as good, even though their bodies haven't fully matured yet and they are not completely experienced with the big crowds. I think at the same time, they work so hard to get to this point. I was a junior golfer myself, and I know that all the girls have been working really hard up until now. So you'll get to see a lot of talent out there, and I'll get to learn a thing or two as well.
Awesome. We have a couple questions here on the Zoom. Beth Ann, do you want to start?
Oh, yes. Hello. Rose, since you didn't have school and you couldn't practice, what did you do with your time?
I did rehab. Well, I actually got to be in Vegas for a while, and it's kind of the first time that I really sort of felt like I'm living there. I got to join the UFC Institute and be able to do some rehab there. Just doing chin tucks with a bunch of WWE fighters. It's like honestly it's honestly very intimidating. But I will say I enjoyed my time there. I took some time off. My mom and my dad were there. And then I had some friends also come visit. So it was honestly a more relaxing time. I did spend a lot of time reading, spent a lot of time having some quiet and reflected a little bit on everything that's happened. But that's why I say I worked really hard on getting my mindset to become better and a little bit stronger, which I think will help me in the next couple months. It doesn't have to be right now. It doesn't have to be in the present, but I think that my game will slowly trend eventually.
Are you feeling any pain when you hit golf shots now? Or is your practice limited in any way?
My practice is a little bit limited. This is my third day playing golf. So I will say I'm not exactly the most prepared, but I will say that, I've been watching a lot of golf, and I feel like that helps me a lot just to see what other players are doing, kind of even know the game a little bit more. I feel like watching television and always seeing how other players are playing with the commentators, they always have good insight. So I was able to kind of bounce back and forth between the LPGA and the PGA and learn from there. But I will say that the body's feeling really good. It's a little bit tight just from not rotating as much.
Thank you. And then if I could ask, good to have you back. If I could ask Yana a question really quick too. Hello. I'm curious how this event played a role in your decision making of turning pro, if at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this event played a huge part in my decision to turn pro, just because I got to play with the pros firsthand and just see how my game kind of compared to them. And, playing the first and second year, I really did feel like I was ready to turn pro. Maybe not start on the LPGA tour, but definitely the Epson tour and just get my reps out there. Honestly, for me. I didn't really feel like going to college was a good idea for me just because I wanted to get those extra reps in early and, maybe just struggle out there but learn. And yeah, I just feel like this tournament played a huge role.
And congrats on your win. I should have led with that.
Thank you.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Jill, you have some too?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yana, what as far as your mental makeup kind of allowed you to make that decision when you talk about college wasn't, the right decision for you and getting the extra reps? Obviously, you got to be mature. What is it about you that you felt like you were ready to make that leap?
I just feel like, I guess my level of talent and level of work ethic was, up there, pretty equivalent. Maybe not with the LPGA Tour players, like I said, but maybe on the Epson Tour. But, just getting those reps in early was just the big key for me, getting used to all the traveling and working with caddies and, dealing with money and dealing with sponsors and all of that. I feel like I just needed to, I feel like I wanted my life to be more of that than, studying and trying to balance golf and studies at the same time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then the experience of winning and I don't know how you celebrated, but what was that like to celebrate that, and how did you celebrate, I guess?
It was really cool. So it was actually my mom's birthday. I kind of wanted to win it for her birthday. She hasn't seen me win a golf tournament, I think, since Mizuho. So that was really cool to do that. So we went out to, Korean barbecue, had a little bit of dinner there, and then I had to jump on a red-eye flight to be here.
Okay, awesome. Congrats. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Rose, can you tell me a little bit more about, was there a particular UFC fighter that you had some fun conversations with or learned anything from, exchanged tips on your sports?
Well, I'm not really in an octagon, so I can't really get specific advice there. But I've never really watched the UFC, to be fair. My brother's a big fan. I was doing PT on the table, and my PT that was working, Heather, looked at a photo from someone that kind of came in and wanted her to see an athlete's injury. And she just simply looked at it and said, amputation. And I was like, how bad is it to have your, whatever be amputated? And she was like, oh, do you want to see it? So casually, no change in demeanor. And I was like, wow, you could not, quite gruesome. It was really not great. And I was just like, this is the type of place where they've seen everything. So I was, in my head, I'm like, this is, whatever I have is really nothing compared to what they're doing out there.
Okay. Was that a leg injury, an arm injury? What was
it? Was, the amputation in particular. It was someone's middle toe.
Ew.
I know, it was quite, I don't even know. That's why I didn't really want to say it.
Okay. And then with your injury specifically, what was the rehab process like? Was it more neck, more shoulder? And then how are you feeling playing golf these last few days? Is it something you think about? You're past that?
Yeah, it was honestly quite boring. I had to start out with very simple exercises. I couldn't move a couple times throughout the month just because it was an ebb and flow process of you have the spasm in the neck and then you have to recover a little bit, then you have it again, maybe it goes on the other side, and then you kind of have to go through the whole process again. So I can't really say that I had the complete most smooth recovery, but I will say that I'm pain-free right now, which I'm very thankful for. I never realized, obviously, it goes unsaid, but the neck is very important for anything that you do. I just remember being in the car and any sort of movement obviously caused a lot of pain, and to be able to do very simple tasks and sleep really well, I think it's definitely a blessing. So I'm taking all the positives out of it, and now going back into the golf game, the fact that I see the ball fly, the fact that I can rotate and not feel too much pain, that's honestly all that I can ask for. I think this week will be a great experience for myself, just to get back into the flow of things. And I've been working with my swing coach as well in the last 2 days. So, I have a lot of things that I'm willing to improve on and work on.
Okay, and then your thoughts on getting back at this time. Obviously, U.S. Open at the end of the month, and then July, the majors. Just kind of your thoughts on being able to get back with all that lies ahead here in the near future.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, I think this week will be a great test to my mental, my game. I think that there will be a lot of conditions out here the next couple days that will be very similar to the majors. Weather doesn't really look too great. So, we'll be playing in some rain. We'll be playing in some tough conditions. I'm willing to, really learn a lot from the next couple days and put myself in the best position I can. And I think that will obviously lead to the majors, gaining experience. I think everything is about just learning, especially in this time. I'm sort of rebuilding my own profile as a player, rebuilding my swing a little bit, the chipping, the putting. I think everything will come together by the time the majors come around.
Okay, thanks to you both.
Great. Hayden, I know you have some here in the room, and then Greg, you will be next.
For Yana, you won this tournament in 2023 as an AJGA junior, and now on the professional side are serving as a role model for these junior players. What advice would you give to the juniors that are out here competing in this event for the first time?
I would say just soak it all in. I think playing in front of these crowds with professionals is, something very rare that you get to do. Only really this tournament does it, unless you get an exemption, into a LPGA or in a major. But that would be my piece of advice. I would say just soak it all in and really just enjoy the moment and enjoy it all.
And then Rose, you hosted your first AJGA Invitational earlier this year. What did that opportunity to host an event for the organization mean to you, and how does it feel seeing some of those juniors who competed there now competing alongside you this week?
It's honestly really cool. I see a lot of familiar faces, and like I said, I also have a couple friends that are out here and in the field. I think that their games are really great. I spent the entire invitational just watching my friends play, just watching the girls compete, and each of them are very hungry. And I think that it's very, they show almost no fear. And I think that's something that even the pros can learn to do out here. But I think for the most part, just having them out here, it brings a little bit of comfort. It'll be a very easygoing vibe. I felt that in the inaugural event. I think that's what's special about this tournament and this entire format as well.
Thank you.
Greg, questions on the Zoom?
Yana, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Wanted to ask you, you won a ton of junior tournaments throughout your career. Did this one feel different in any way?
Yeah, winning the Mizuho in 2023, or what do you mean? The
Epson Tour last week.
The Epson Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it did feel a lot different. I haven't been in contention in a long time, so I think just getting used to the nerves, especially coming down the back nine, was pretty tough. Because I know all those girls are so hungry, and they were playing their butt off. I know that there was one girl behind me because I was kind of looking at the leaderboard a little bit. I know she was firing a low round, so just trying to keep my head, in it, and just to keep playing my own game and not try to focus on, who's behind me, but keep trying to extend my lead was really important. But I just did, everything I knew what to do as a junior. So I feel like that experience winning as a junior really helped me win a this professional event.
And obviously, the goal is to get out to the LPGA, and the win goes a long way toward maybe reaching that goal, but it doesn't guarantee you top 15.
Yeah.
What is your focus going to be like the rest of the season? Are you purely focused on Epson, or are you going to take up other opportunities?
Yeah, I'm purely focused on Epson. Yeah, exactly. My goal this year is to get my tour card. Kind of like my smaller goal throughout the year is just to play really consistently, as I have been, and just, stay focused on kind of the process and not so much the result. So just taking everything one shot at a time, keeping my head in a good space, and making sure that I'm healthy throughout the whole entire season. Because, from transitioning from junior golf, where you only play, once every 3 months, to professional golf, where you play every 3 weeks, or once every week for like 3 weeks straight, it's very different. So just making sure that I'm healthy and that I'm doing everything I can to keep my body right is very important to me as well.
And then after Q school and maybe not having the status you needed at the start of the year, was there ever any doubt that creeped into your mind of why did I turn down Oregon? Or was it just, I'm going to focus on finding my opportunities?
Absolutely not. I think I never regretted turning pro early. I knew that I wasn't in the best spot because, I barely got into the first event based off my ranking for after Q school. So I kind of had to play my way in. After the first tournament, I needed a top 10 to get into the second event, and I did that, and I needed a top 10 in the second event to get into the third event. So, yeah, I was kind of just riding on my confidence and just knowing how good my game is. But no, never any doubts of turning pro. I'm really happy with my decision.
Right. Well, congratulations again. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions? Perfect. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bye.